Welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to explain loop optimization and basic blocks used in the code optimization process. Code optimization is a process of improving the program code, so that better target code will be produced, or the efficiency of the target code will be increased. Here efficiency means in terms of either size of the program will be reduced, or the memory consumption during runtime will be reduced, or the program execution time will be decreased, or faster execution may result because of loop optimization. The code optimization can be significantly done in loops of the program. Especially, the body of the loop is the place where the program spends large amount of time during execution. So it is better to focus on loops and try to analyze so that loops code will be minimized in some way. The running time of the program may be decreased if we decrease the number of instructions in the body of the loop. The loop optimization is carried out by many techniques. Some of them are shown below. First one, code motion. That means we are moving code outside the loop, which has no importance in the iterational execution. That means if there exists some expression in the loop condition whose result remains unchanged even after executing the loop several times, then such an expression can be placed outside the loop. That means there is an expression in the loop condition whose result remain unchanged, whose value is not changed during each iteration. That time it is not required to place in the condition of the loop, and we can move it to outside the loop. For example, one while loop is given, while I less than or equal to max minus 1. So this condition contains one expression max minus 1. Its value will not be changed during any of the iterations. The reason is the max variable value is not manipulated within the loop body anywhere. This is the loop body. In this loop body, the max variable value is not modified, is not being modified. So the max minus 1 value always same when I compute in the first iteration or second iteration. Every time I will get the same value, so no need to compute this every time of iteration. So for that reason we can move it to outside. So this program code can be simplified as t equal to max minus 1. That expression whose value remains unchanged is moved outside, means just before the loop, t equal to max minus 1. This t value will be used during the condition. So while I is less than or equal to t, and then execute the loop body. The loop body is sum equal to sum plus a of I and I plus plus. So the loop body is same, but we have changed the condition part of the loop, but this will give the same result as this one. So this is called optimization, called code motion. Loop invariant. So in the earlier code motion we focused on condition part of the loop. Here we focus on loop body. If anything is available or expression that is unchanged during during iterations, then it is better to move outside the loop. See here, it eliminates variables or expressions whose value will not be changed in the body of the loop. Take this loop for I equal to 1 to 10 I plus plus. The body contains k equal to I plus a by b. Here a by b is an expression whose value will not be changed, for each iteration of the loop. So if I compute a by b in the first iteration or in the next iteration, in all iterations a by b value remains same, so no need to compute it multiple times. So better to move this expression outside the loop. This is called loop invariant method. The minimized code is available here. T equal to a by b, so that expression is moved to outside of the loop. T equal to a by b, and for I equal to 0 to 10, k equal to I plus t. Here t is a by b, so it is giving same result as the original code. So this is one loop invariant method of minimizing loops code. Third one, reduction in strength, which replaces the expensive operators by lower strength operators. So we know that some operators like suppose division and addition. So division is somewhat expensive operation than addition. So addition is simple one, lowest strength operation, whereas division is higher strength operation or expensive operation. It takes more time, it consumes more processing time when compared with addition and division. The division takes more time than addition. So if possible, replace such operators by lower strength operators. Example, for I equal to 1 to 50, count equal to I into 7, printf percentile d comma count. So initially I equal to 1, so I into 7 becomes 7. The count value will be printed in the first iteration. In the second iteration I becomes 2, so 2 into 7 14, count will be 14, so 14 will be printed on screen. Like this the values will be printed 21 and so on. So this loop can be simplified like this. Here in the original code the star is used. The star is expensive operator when compared with addition. So I am using addition instead of multiplication in this simplified code. So temp equal to 7, for I equal to 1 to 50, count equal to temp. So initially temp equal to 7, count will become 7, print percentile d count, that means count will be printed, 7 will be printed. Next temp will be count plus 7, so count value is 7, 7 plus 7 means 14, temp will have 14. In the next iteration I becomes 2, next count equal to temp. What is temp value? 14, so count value will become 14, so 14 is going to be printed. In similar way it gives the same result as original loop. So this is called minimization, simplification of the code. Fourth one, induction variable elimination. What is induction variable? A variable x is called induction variable if of the loop L, if the value of that variable gets changed every time during the loop iteration. If some variable is used in the loop, suppose its value is going to be changed every iteration, in every iteration of the loop, then it is called induction. If there are multiple induction variables in a loop, then it is better to reduce them into one variable if possible. If the loop contains more than one induction variable, then it is better to reduce the number of induction variables but achieve the same result. For example, take this code, intermediate code, I equal to I plus 1, t equal to 4 into I, t2 equal to a of t1, and if t2 is less than 100, go to b1. So this is one loop statement. Exit control loop statement usually. So this body is going to be executed. At the end of this body, we are going to check the condition. If it's true, control goes to block beginning. Is a loop statement. So here I value is going to be changed in each iteration, and t1 value is also going to be changed. So here variable I and variable t1 are said to be induction variables. So what about t1? T1 is not an induction variable because the t2 is not an induction variable because the t2 value depends on array values of a. Suppose array contains same value, suppose 10 10 10. In that case, wherever the whatever the element we refer, it will give the same value. Is not going to be changed every time. So t2 is not induction variable. So there are two induction variables available. It is better to reduce them. So here the value of I and t1 gets changed in every iteration. So these variables are called induction variables. Then it is better to reduce them into one variable if possible. This is called induction variable elimination. Next, loop unrolling. Rolling means folding. Unrolling means unfolding, expanding, suppose. We can apply this meaning here. In this method, the number of jumps and conditions of the loop can be reduced by rewriting the loop body statements. So generally the processing time consumed by loops is more when compared with other statements, or in particular the loop contains jump statements go to somewhere else, flow control statements, and conditions, verify this condition, if true then go to this location. Like that it contains jumps and conditions. So if there are multiple jumps and conditional statements, then it is better to reduce them if possible by rewriting the loop body statements. For example, the loop contains 100 iterations. Here I equal to 1 and y I is less than or equal to 100 means this loop is repeated 100 times. This condition is verified 100 times and the loop body is executed 100 times. So after executing each iteration, the control is transferred to the starting of the block. So verify the condition, again true, then execute the body, again transfer the control to the starting of the loop. Like this loop condition is verified 100 times. So I can modify this loop statement so that the loop contains the loop condition statements will be reduced, so that jumps will be reduced. Jump statements will also be reduced. See here, int I equal to 1, y I less than or equal to 50 means the loop is repeated 50 times only, 1 to 50, but gives the same value. So see here how this code is written means we can rewrite the loop body statements 2 or more times as shown below. So we can rewrite the loop body statement so that the body of statements are repeated 2 or more times to achieve the same meaning. This one is available here. So one time executed, I plus plus one time executed. This body is executed one time. I am repeating same body again. So a of I equal to b of I plus plus means with one condition statement, I am going to execute this actual earlier while loop body two times here, so that we can minimize number of conditional statements and also jump statement. It is called loop unrolling. Next, classification of code optimization techniques. So based on the optimization techniques application on the code, we can divide the optimization into two types. The first one, mission independent code optimization. That means we will apply some kind of transformations. Those transformations are not dependent on mission properties like registers, instruction set, addressing modes, etc. And we will apply transformations on intermediate code only. That is called mission independent code optimization. Second one, mission dependent code optimization. So dependent means while doing the transformations on the code, we will use the mission properties. Here the code optimization is done based on the target code usually. Let us see each one in detail. What is mission independent optimization? It is done based on the characteristics of the programming language, like the use of efficient arithmetic properties in order to simplify the code or to reduce the execution time. So we will apply the arithmetic properties, the use of efficient arithmetic properties in order to simplify the code. And this kind of optimization is applied on the intermediate code, like 3 address code. So intermediate code is taken and some kind of transformations applied so that the code is going to be minimized. This is called mission independent code optimization. Second one is, before going to second one, see the how it is achieved. It is achieved by using the following criteria. First one, the code is analyzed completely, then alternative equivalent sequence of code is used to perform the code minimization. That means we will analyze the code, either maybe simple statements, some group of statements, or enter the program, whatever the case. We will analyze the code, intermediate code, and we will try to prepare the alternative equivalent statements for that sequence of code. So instead of this I can write this, but I can get the same meaning. So by that way I can minimize the intermediate code. Second, eliminate unreachable code. The code may have dead code, unused variables, or unreachable code. It is better to eliminate that code. Third, find common sub expressions. Find common sub expressions in the program and avoid computing such same expression multiple times. So same expression is available, suppose a number of times in the code, and when I compute the expression I will get the same result, because the operands applied in that expression, operand values of that expression are not changed since the last modification, since the last application of expression. So in that cases what happens means, if I compute this expression, that expression multiple times at different locations, I will get the same result, because the operands are not changed, operand values are not changed since the last application. So it is better to avoid such common sub expressions. Second one, mission dependent code optimization. The characteristics of the target mission. like instruction sets used, addressing modes used, registers used, different registers purpose, registers allocation schemes. So by applying all these techniques, we can produce an efficient target code. So this kind of optimization is applied on target code, not the intermediate code, so that it is going to be minimized. Next, the criteria how we can achieve this means few points are given. First one, allocation of sufficient number of resources to improve the execution efficiency of the target code. So the target code efficiency can be improved by allocating sufficient number of resources. Second one, the use of immediate addressing mode instructions wherever possible. So if possible, use immediate instructions wherever possible. So immediate addressing mode is accessed more fastly than other addressing modes. So better to use immediate instructions wherever possible to apply. Third one, the use of intermix instructions. That means the intermix of instructions along with the data increases the speed of execution. So better to mix different instructions to form another instructions with more data values, so that we can save execution time. Next, scope of optimization. Scope, based on the scope of the operations applied on the program code during optimization process, there are two kinds of optimization techniques. One, local optimization. Second, global optimization. What is local optimization? So a transformation of a program code is said to be local optimization if it can be performed by looking at only at the statements within a group of statements, within a simple number of statements, or within a basic block. Here basic block means is a set of consecutive statements which does not contain jumping statements. Is a collection of statements without altering the flow of execution, is called basic block. So if you apply some transformations, modifications on the basic block code only, analyze the basic block code and try to find the modifications at that block level only, at that within that basic block level only, that is called local optimization. Examples include common subexpression elimination, usage of registers for temporary results, replacing expensive operators by lower strength operators. Second one, global optimization. A transformation of a program code is said to be global optimization if it can be performed by looking at the entire program or some entire procedure, etc. That means here we have to look at beyond a single basic block. That means we can analyze two or more basic blocks, or multiple basic blocks, or entire program, or some set of basic blocks, or some loop, or some procedure, like that analyze and try to recommend some modifications for the minimization of the code. This comes under global optimization. Examples include data flow analysis, loop optimization. So many transformations can be performed at both levels, local level as well as global level, and usually local transformations are performed first and then global transformations are applied to improve the efficiency of the code. Next, come to the topic basic blocks. What is a basic block? Basic block is a sequence of consecutive statements. Is a sequence of consecutive statements in which The flow of control enters at the beginning and leaves at the end without halt or branch, except at the end. So basic block is a sequence of consecutive statements. Within that there is no branch statements. There is no branch jumping statements. See the example. So this 3 address code is said to be one basic block. So this 3 address code forms a basic block because in this 3 address code no jump instruction is given, no jumping statement is given. So control enters into this first statement and passes to next statement and then next statement and then next statement and then next statement and then next statement. So it is satisfying the condition or the definition in which the flow of control enters at the beginning and leaves at the end without halt or branch. So here the control enters here and leaves here. So this forms under basic block. Some terminology we will use in basic blocks and flow graphs. Those are used in optimization. So we will consider some terminology points. In 3 address code, a statement will take one statement x equal to y plus z. Here x is said to be defined and y is said to be used. Y and z are said to be used. That means the variable x value is defined by using y and z variables, or reverse. The variables y and z are used to define the value of x. So that is the meaning of define and use. So x is said to be defined in this statement and y and z are said to be used. A name in basic block is said to be live at a given point if its value is being used after that point in the program. A name in a basic block, name in some variable, suppose a name, a basic block, suppose a name in a basic block is said to be live at a given point if its value is being used after that point in the program. If not used, it is said to be dead. See the second term. A name in a basic block is said to be dead at a given point if its value is never used after this point, after that point in the program, after that statement in the program. Algorithm for making blocks from a 3 address code statements. Input. The input will be sequence of 3 address statements. The output will be set of basic blocks. So it takes 3 address code statements and gives a list of basic blocks. The method will be explained by only 2 steps. Step number 1. First, we determine the set of leader statements. Leader statement, how to find leader statement means usually the first statement of the basic block. So what is the use of leader statement definition? Usage means in a basic block the first statement is always a leader statement. So the first statement of the basic block is called leader statement. We have to find out it initially. The rules for finding leaders are listed below. First one, A. The first statement is a leader. So from the 3 address code, while converting into basic blocks, take the first statement as a leader statement. Second point, any statement that is target of the conditional or unconditional jump is a leader statement. Within the code, observe that there is any statement that is target of the conditional or unconditional jump instruction, then take it as a leader. Statement that immediately follows a conditional or unconditional jump statement is a ladder, is also a ladder. So first find the ladder. So second point is making basic blocks from the ladders. So usually each basic block contains only one ladder statement always. That means while converting the given tree address code into basic blocks, if 10 ladder statements are identified, means that intermediate code can be divided into 10 basic blocks, converted into 10 basic blocks. So for each ladder statement, its basic block consists of the ladder and all the statements up to the next ladder, up to but not including the next ladder. See one example. So take this while loop, take this code and convert into basic blocks. So before converting into basic blocks, first we have to write its equivalent 3 address code. So here the code contains product is equal to 0, I equal to 1, and while loop. Here the while loop body contains product equal to product plus a of I into b of I equal to I plus 1, and with condition I is less than or equal to 10. Here the loop is repeated 10 times, I equal to 1 to 10. The corresponding 3 address code is shown here. So the first statement is product is equal to 0, second statement I equal to 1, same are written here. So I equal to product equal to 0, I equal to 1. Next loop beginning, product equal to product plus a of I into b of I. So first we are computing a of I into b of I, a of I into b of I. So a of I is loaded into t1, b of I is loaded into t2, and we are multiplying a of I into b of I and storing the result into t3, and we are multiplying, we are adding with product, means product plus t3. What is t3? A of I into b of I. So we are getting the result here, that is going to be stored into the product variable. So this is executed, and after that we have the statement I is equal to I plus 1. So I equal to I plus 1 will be written with these statements, t5 equal to I plus 1, I equal to t5. Thereafter we have to verify the condition. If I is less than or equal to 10, go to starting of the body, do while loop body. So the condition will be, if I is less than or equal to 10, go to line number 3. This is exactly representing the given source code, equivalent 3 address code. Next, how to convert this 3 address code into basic blocks is the main point here. So try to identify ladder statements. So the first step is determine the set of ladder statements. And what is the first rule? 1a, first statement is a ladder. So in this 3 address code, the first statement will become the ladder. Next, see the second condition. Any statement that is the target of conditional or unconditional jump is a ladder statement. So see the conditional, unconditional statements in the code. So this is not t1 equal to a1 is not conditional statement. So only one conditional statement is there, that is available here. If I is less than or equal to 10, go to 3. So now come to the rule number 1b. Any statement that is target of the conditional jump is a ladder. So for this jump instruction, what is target? The target is 3. So line number 3 becomes the ladder. Line number 3 becomes the ladder. Next, apply the 1c rule also. Any statement that immediately follows the conditional jump statement is also a ladder. So after this conditional jump statement, there is no instruction available here, so no more ladders. So from this code we observed that statement 1 is a ladder by rule number 1a. Statement 3 is a ladder. And see the second step. We have to make the blocks. For each ladder, So here how many leaders are available? 2 leaders available. Statement number 1 and statement number 3 are leaders. So this should be divided into two blocks. So here how to make blocks means, for each leader its basic block consists of the leader statement and all other leader statements up to but not including the next leader. So here the first leader is this one, continue up to the next leader but not including the next leader. So statement 1 and 2 becomes one block. Next, statement 3 is a leader. From this we are defining new block, new basic block. So up to this point this is another basic block. So two blocks are defined, basic blocks. Hence statement 1 and statement 2 forms a basic block. Similarly statement 3 to statement 10 forms another basic block. So therefore the basic blocks for the given program are shown below. Block 1 is this one and block 2 is this one. So like this, when source code is given, we have to translate this into readdress code to make basic blocks for the given code. So up to now we have completed loop optimization and basic blocks. We will discuss the remaining topics in the next video. Thank you.